Hello everyone. In this video I want to show you guys how to make this very cool wire tree. Totally strategic to have worn a black shirt so you could see what we're gonna make. But let's get started. Hey y'all. Today in this video I wanted to show you guys how to make a wire tree. And so my materials that I have are 18 and 24 gauge silver plated silver copper core wire from parawire.com. Right there's the website, www.parawire.com. Though you could use a variety of different gauges, this is just what I'm using on hand. I have, I'm going to be using this little bead canister as a mandrel. It has a 2-inch diameter, 2 inches across, just for size reference. You can use a mandrel, a pen, or here I have a mechanical pencil. Then you'll need wire snips, round nose pliers, and then bent nose pliers. Or you could use chain nose or flat nose or whatever have you. I really like the delicate tips of these bent nose because they let me get into the tight little places. So I'm going to measure myself off about, let's say a foot of wire, 12 inches. Snip that. On one end, I'm going to use my mandrel, coming in about 1 inch, and I'm going to wrap around like this. And this is making the bail that up at the top. Now, I don't want a twist tie style wrap. I'm keeping this long part nice and long, and then I'm wrapping the tail around it like, I don't know why, but I always think of it in terms of the neck. I'm going to use my bent nose pliers to kind of squeeze that down, keep it nice and tight. I just want 3 solid rotations, just like that. And I'm going to leave this little bit of a tail on there for now. Personal preference, I usually like to leave my mandrel in, but you can, decide for yourself whether you like it better left in or taken out. But I'm going to bend just a 90-degree bend at the neck there. And I'm going to wrap this around the mandrel. I could have given myself maybe 1 inch less of wire, but I don't mind having a little bit of extra. And come around from behind, as you can see here. Just coming around on the back side. And there's no particular reason why I'm doing that. It's just what I decided. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to go off camera. And then keeping it on our form, I'm just twisting and, well, wrapping rather, it around the neck like that. So now I can slide that off. And that's the shape for the base of the tree. And you could use any shape of form for this. Now also, you can leave it just like this. I personally usually like to use a 16 or 14 gauge wire for this, but all I had on hand was 18. So what I'm going to do to make it more durable, is here I have this anvil, and I have a jeweler's hammer that has a nylon and a brass head. I'm going to use the nylon head because I'm not looking to hammer it flat. I just want to work hard in it. So be warned, this could get kind of loud. What this is accomplishing is helping it to hold its shape just a little better. And so now with these little bits of a tail that are hanging off, I'm going to use my round nose pliers to grip it, and I'm making just a wee bitty loop for on this side. You could also just snip the wire flat and use your pliers to smush it down so that it doesn't protrude, but I really like adding just a touch of a spiral. And on this longer one, let's measure real quick. It's about 1.5 inches, just a hair under. And I'm going to grab it as close to the tip of my pliers and as close to the tip of the wire as I can. And I'm just going to start bringing it in for a nice, even... Oops, so sorry, I don't mean to go off camera. A nice, even, organic looking spiral. I don't know why, but that just made me remember I need to plant my peas soon. I guess it makes me think of the little pea tendrils, the little vines they send out to hold on to the to hold on to the trellis or whatever they're on. Oh goodness, I'm scatterbrained today. I apologize. I want to keep it nice and like centered up. And then now I'm going to measure out. Oh, let's say I want this to be a really nice full tree. So it's going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Oof. I only really need my segments to be, let's say, 8 inches long. So I'm going to cut off, I think, like 15 or 16, or I don't know yet, of these branches, for lack of a better term. 3, and I measure the first one and then just cut them to match with some variance, you know, maybe a 1/4 inch variance. Just because you never know when one that's a little longer might come in handy. Oh, I've lost count. I'm going to do a bunch more and then count. This is an art, not a science. Just do what feels good. And as I'm getting more and more to where I don't fast forward through parts of the tutorials, because it helps me whenever I'm learning something new to have a realistic perception of how much time this is going to take me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Pull off a good bit more. There's 9. There's 10. There's 11. There's 12. Yeah, that's going to be a pretty thick tree, so I think 16 will do me. 13. This uses quite a bit of wire, but totally worth it. What was I on? I forget. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13. Okay. 14. Just 2 more, guys. And 15. So now from here, there's a bunch of different ways that you could go about this. I'm going to use my fingers just kind of give, if it's curving this way, if you kind of bend it the other way, it brings it out of its curve very slightly, but it helps straighten the wire. But just get my wire for the most part straightened out. And I'm going to segment it out into like 3 sections. And I'm going to grip it. And I'm just going to twist. Still holding pretty tight there. I mean, that's 4 rotations maybe. I think I'm going to split the branches off into... Now this is going to be the branch end, and this is going to be the root end. And I want this to be a really branch-heavy tree. So I'm going to kind of just split off the sections. there's that. Did 3 little twists. And on these ones, I've found I really like to twist out a lot further than what you would think to. And the way that I'm doing it is I'm just keeping them kind of almost 90-degree angle from each other and just grabbing one finger on this side, one finger on this side, top and bottom, and then twist. Keep the pressure equal and it makes a nice twist, but you just twist it out farther than what you think you need, and then untwist a few, and it gives you some really cool root texturing. Again, just, you know, experiment, see what you like. And then this one's just going to be an odd little root off by itself, doing its thing. And you can use your own artistic discretion to add in, or, you know, embellishments or swirls or beads or just whatever, really whatever makes you happy. And again, on this one, I'm going to twist it just a little farther than what I think I'd need to, and then like back twist, untwist, I guess is the term. And this gives a really cool, again, just almost more natural and random texturing and patterning than what I could come up with just on my own. And I'm just repeating this all the way around. Back untwisting. Then this one's going to be a nice thick branch, or thick root cluster. And this one's gonna get twisted off by itself off to the side. And the little wire tips do get kind of scratchy, but you'll get used to it, or you'll get more careful. I got used to it as opposed to getting more careful. But that's just how I roll, so. Whenever I'm twisting 3 segments, instead of just doing the plain old twist tie, I'll take 2 of them and wrap them around the center one. Just, I think it makes a nice cool textural effect. And then you can twist that way, and then we can actually bring this in and twist off a little this way. And give it some interesting layering and textures there on the side. So now from here, this is going to be the bottom of the tree. I'm going to actually start, excuse me, towards the center. So I've got these pulled away. So I've got these 4 are going to be centered up right there. And this is going to establish the depth that all the other roots will go to. And I'm going to start with the 2 centralmost wires. And this one I'm weaving the wire through on, let me flip it over so we can get a better look maybe. The coiling that we're going to be doing around the edging establishes the distance between where the branches connect with the, or I say branches, but the roots, where it establishes the distance the roots will be away from each other, you know, and it'll keep them from like sliding around, if that makes sense. Hopefully it will as we progress a little further, it'll become evident. And go ahead and leave the tail on at this point. And so now this one, how I wove on this side of it, this wire I'm going to weave on this inside as well to the center point, which reminds me to keep that nice and centered up. And if you want an off-center tree, please, by all means, like, that's a really good idea. And if this weren't a custom piece for a client, I would be much more inclined to get a little more creative, but they ordered based off of another piece, so I'm trying to replicate that piece. But you can make the tree branch off to one side or the other, or, you know, just do what makes you happy. Like, that's the point of all of this. If your hands get tired, go ahead and use your pliers. And so it's just coming together like that. And what I meant by it establishes the distance between is now I can smush those together and they can't go any closer together than that. But I'm not cutting them yet because there's a step coming up that's pretty important. And now I'm gonna thread in again to just keep these center bottom ones from getting ultra smushed up. There's one. And if you want it real consistent, or if you've got a healthy case of OCD going on, you can be real particular and be like, I'm going to do 5 wraps in between all of the roots. And it's like, okay. And that gives us a goal that we can work towards. That's 3. And that's 4. Hope my fingers aren't getting in the way too much. And that's 5. So see how that kind of really brings it together. And so now here we've got on our other side. Just passing right through there. 1. 2. I can only really fit 3 here, so I think that's all I'm going to do. 3? No, I can fit 5. Oops. No, I can only fit 4 really comfortably. There we go. And that's just coming along nicely like that. And now I'm going to bring this root down here on the side. And I'm going to do my coils to hold it in place off to the other direction. So there's 1. I do love making these trees. It's just the simple repetition of the twisting and then branching and then twisting and branching and then just coiling around the edge, I find really gives a nice, like, meditative, mind-consuming, but like, it's mind-consuming in that it focuses my attention, but not so much that my mind can't also wander around and dwell on other things. Okay. 1, 2. And this whole time I'm trying to not distort my base circle. And you can see here, I've got it smushed together, but it made these roots be much closer together than what I would like. We will take care of that. Like, we'll tweak the finer points and the little, you know, the little details like that here shortly. And again, using that 5 stacked in each side now keeps this root from coming any closer than that. So it's, I like it. It's a good system for kind of keeping some consistency going. And if you don't want any kind of consistency, then scrap it all together. Oh, I'm just remembering back to some of my very earliest wire trees and how much not like a tree they looked. But folks still liked them, and I sold every single one of them, so. But every one of them has been a joy to make. One more. So there's that. Just as in the tree, like, I mean, it grows as you make it. It's growing. You know, growing all of its little roots out and its trunk and its 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like that. And now we're getting to the last one on this side. And then we'll be able to show you what happens. This part is fun, but the final sculpting is so nice. Like, it's my favorite part. And it makes the, some of the finishing touches that I'm going to show y'all how I like to do them, really makes the difference between what I feel like, for me, is a, like, intermediate tree versus an advanced looking tree, like something that I'm really proud of. But like with most things, the more work and effort you put into it, typically the nicer it's going to come out. You know? It's like, it's the very nature of it, that just if you spend more time, put more of yourself into it, that's going to show. 4, 5. Yeah, whenever I've got more space, I just twist it with my hands. Okay, so now the other side. This is a lot of wire wrapping, y'all. So this one comes down, yeah. So I'm gonna grab it and pull it around. Stomp. There we go. I think that was 5. Sure. Let's call it 5. But yeah, I try to make my tutorials a little, like, not time specific. Like, I try to not talk too much about my personal life or anything in the tutorials. That way it'll be just as relevant, 5 years from now as what it is today. But just, it's been a rough couple of days. Our roommate moved out. It's been kindling day, like, for all of y'all who keep up with my vlog. It's just, at the time of recording, things have been really trying. So it's nice to get to sit and just make something with y'all. This one, I'm going to kind of make it come up all funny and gnarly. It's going to be a gnarly wild root. And so... And fortunately, y'all have been keeping me really busy with custom work, so that's very exciting, but also at the same time, the anxiety of, I need to get all of this stuff done, it starts to overwhelm me, and then I take like a nap or something, and it's like, oh, Vaughn, come on, be professional. And I'm like, I can't, oh my god, I need coffee and a nap. So... More good news is that I'm gonna untwist that. It just got a little too long for what we were doing. But I'm going to start teaching hoop dance at the Yoga for You studio in Carthage. That's pretty exciting. Because I've always wanted to like be like a teacher, like an official teacher, kind of, not just teaching it to anybody who stands still long enough for me to be like, hey, want to learn how to do this? And in addition to that, I'll be taking a lot more yoga classes, hopefully in preparation for this fall to study for a yoga teacher training, which should be great fun, I do hope. I'm looking forward to learning as much as possible, as much as I can. So there's the roots. I think they came a little off center, maybe. I don't know. So now, here we are. And the original tree that this was based off of was very evenly branched. So I'm going to have the top branches kind of fan out just a little bit. Like just trying to have them originate from where they normally would, so there's not a whole lot of like crisscrossing going on at the roots or anything like that. There we go. And so I'm going to take these two and I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 twists maybe. And then I'm going to take these ones and I'm going to do 1, 2, bend all this out of the way, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then I'm going to unwind 6 of them. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think I like that. So as I continue these branches, I'll keep jabbering at y'all. But then I lost count. Oh no. So I'll be teaching hoop dance. I'll be taking yoga classes at Yoga for You. And as well as I've been taking belly dance classes at the Dancers Studio here in Carthage. And that has been so nice. Like, really challenging, but in a really enjoyable way. Which is like, that's exactly what I'm looking for in life, is enjoyable challenges. Like, it's really pushing me as a dancer, and like athletically. I've been riding my bike a lot more. I haven't been losing any weight because I eat like a lumberjack, but working on that as well. And also coming up next week, I think, actually, oh my god, is that next week? It's next week. This weekend I'm teaching a leatherworking class at Tandy Leather in Springfield, and then next week I'm going to start taking my Master Gardener certification classes. So, oh my gosh, is February not just like the busiest time of my life right now? So it's very challenging, but hopefully it will all be very rewarding. So far it is quite rewarding. But playing it by ear, seeing how it goes. Now this one, I didn't give myself enough branches to do it completely even, so I am going to have one branch that's like a 3-parter. So I'm going to just twist up. Well, hey, Sam dog. It's hard being a dog, isn't it? Come here, buddy. Oh, did you wake up asleep? He's such a sweetheart. Blow off all the dog hair. And so hopefully by now, I hope you guys are getting the gist with the patterning of kind of like using your own artistic mind to kind of shape and establish the branches. And now how this one's all mega straight and these two are nice and crinkly, I'm going to go ahead and twist this one up with this crinkly one and then uncrinkle it, like unwind, unravel, I don't know. Words, so hard. Words brain, ouch. That way it gives me a little bit of that texturing still. So yeah, in the midst of everything, it's really nice to get to sit down and make a video for y'all. And I really love hearing from you guys with your comments and questions and ideas. Y'all inspire me so much. Like, I don't even know how to thank you guys for being so awesome all the time. Except for to keep popping out videos for y'all to enjoy. Trying to up my quality a little bit. And just keep everything rolling along nicely. So it's thank you guys for sitting here with me and watching my videos and taking time out of your day to be a part of mine. Okay. So from here, I am going to start doing my wires. And I'm going to attach this one. And to see if it can't go a little faster, I've got this bent off towards the back. Because it takes up so much time to have to pick up and set down my pliers. There's 1, 2, 3. I think I'm just going to do 4 up top. I want a tighter branching, I think. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. And kind of just the next one comes in where the previous one left off. 2, 3, 4. But I do recommend, sorry, it just struck me. I definitely recommend doing at least 3 rotations, because if you do less than 3, in this next step, stuff can really start unraveling. So like 3 or 4 or more really gives you a nice stable point of attachment between the branches in the frame, or the roots in the frame. I'm going to get this one a couple more. And also, just because you only have like 4 or 5 rotations, you can definitely do more. Also, you don't have to have them stuffed next to each other the way we do for the root clusters. Like, you can give yourself a little bit of space there. Kind of see how it all plays out. So you can see everything here is kind of still really straight and rigid and just not my favorite. So we're gonna keep wrapping. this one I'm actually wrapping on the join up here. So I've got 2 on one side, and I'm going to start wrapping on the other side. There we are. This is definitely something that's really nice to like listen to some music or be hanging out. Like if I weren't shooting video for this, I'd be sitting on the front porch with my feet in the sun, staying nice and warm. Because it's a nice warm day if you're in the sun, but in the shade the breeze will still get to you. And so I'd just be out on my porch watching, you know, the birds, or just enjoying being outside. Or I'd be chaining Netflix like an addict. Like the addict I am. One of our friends let us watch on their Crunchyroll account, and so we like chained a bunch of anime. It was so good. There we go. Because I like to have a little bit more, like this is making a very straight branched tree. I like to have a much more gnarled, aged and weathered tree effect. Almost more like an old oak. But you could do aspen trees, you could do birches, like you could totally look at some different species of trees and see what their growth patterns are and try to emulate those in your wrapping. So here we go. I'm on my third to last branch. Then we get to do the extra fun part. This next upcoming excuse me. This next upcoming step is really what's going to give this tree its personality and your artistic flair. I mean, you've been, you know, imbuing yourself into this as an artist the whole time anyhow, but this is really where it starts to shine and come together, I think. So this is a little bit of a different construction method than my wire tree with leaves, but it's definitely a way of going about it, I think. And you could start it the other way too if you'd prefer more branch, like to start from the branch end as opposed to the root end. Okay, so here we are. We have all of our little branches and roots and stuff set up, and we can come in with our round nose pliers. And you don't want to pinch so hard that you're biting into the wire, and you also don't want to distort your frame, but you can take it and start to kind of twist. Like that gave us a really kind of sassy turn in the trunk, and you can really start to give some character and depth to these branches. And you can be however methodical or wild about it as you like. But see how just that difference already. Oof. And so I really hope the client is understanding that these things kind of get a mind of their own sometimes. But you can also put your plier tips in there and open them to force open a congested spot. You see how I'm doing? I mean, experiment away. If you don't know how something's going to behave, take some scrap wire and crinkle it up and do a test wrap, and then stick your pliers in and start messing about and see what happens. but that way you don't have to worry about feeling like you're going to mess up all of your hard work. Because I know that that can be almost crippling sometimes, that you're like just so, oh my god, I don't want to mess it up, I'm not going to do anything to it. But if you don't take any risks, we might not learn what we're capable of. So don't be afraid to get in there and try it out. I mean, but totally try some scrap wire first. Okay, so now if you're doing this on your own tree, I'm sure you've experienced how it pulls down on this part some. And so if we had snipped them already, we'd have a bunch of very irregularly positioned wire ends. And so now we'll be able to cut them all in the same spot and have them curved in the same way, to where they will be non-invasive and like not pokey. Like, you don't want it poking you to death or getting tangled in your clothes or anything like that. And so I'm going to do the same thing to the trunk, the roots. And despite my best efforts, it did get a little off center, but again, it kind of happens. So just coming in from behind. Why is the Sims stuck in my head? I think that's what the Sims, whenever they're like cooking or cleaning or, you know, they'll just I could be wrong though. Could be just any other song really. But, oh my gosh, you guys, though, I'm really excited about how this is coming out. And you can like grab two wires and bring them closer together that way. Just all kinds of explore your creativity. And so there we are. That's the kind of shape of our tree. And now also you could take all of this extra wire and make cute little twists and curls and really decorate the edges up with it. But for this one, they just wanted a nice plain tree. So I'm going to go through and snip pretty close. You can see it's leaving that little bit. And I save all these scrap wires because these are perfect for making wrapped links out of. And so, I mean, it's not as important, I guess, to some folks if you're using enameled metals. But if you are using gold-filled or like sterling, oh my gosh, this stuff is like so expensive. Especially compared to enameled copper, where you can almost be wasteful with it. But I do try my best to not be, you know. Okay, so now that we have all of that snipped, what I'm going to do is just with my bent nose pliers, I'm going to come in and, if you can see what I'm doing here, just twist it down, feel with my finger, make sure there's no pokey bits. And so I'm just going to do that like a bajillion times. This is a really important part to be very, very thorough on. Because you do not want, all it takes is one pokey little wire to ruin your day. But yeah, just kind of butting them down. Made it to our center point already. That's still a little pokey. My god, these are pokey. Before you get them twisted down, they're really just stabbing you. And if you don't trust your own fingers, I recommend getting some like fabric or something, and testing it against that fabric. Sometimes the finer grained fabrics will snag, or a bulkier grain, or just, you know, experiment with some different stuff and see what might catch what your fingers miss. Sorry, I got lost in my own thoughts there for a minute. Just trying to be as thorough as I can. So there's roots. Nice and smooth, no snagging. And so now we'll do this top part, all the branches up top. Because you could have snipped these just a little longer and made cute little spirals at all the tops and roots. You could have woven it onto a backing. Like if you had like a piece of leather or a gemstone or something, you could have made, you used all that extended wire for really anything that you can think of. You could weave like little beads off on the edges or all sorts of stuff. So again, this is pretty time consuming, but it's mind consuming as well. So it's really a great way I have found to unwind and just relax and get your artsy fartsy on. Perfect example of why I love my bent nose pliers, so I'm able to get in there with just ease. There we go. And just a couple more, y'all, and then we'll be done. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and watching these finishing touches with me. If you enjoy my free tutorials and all that stuff, please check out my Patreon page, because I love getting to make these for you guys, but it's not always very affordable. You know, materials cost and the production cost and the time and everything, but to compensate your investment into what I'm doing here, I do a monthly fairy house giveaway. So there we are, you guys. It's all finished. I am so pleased with that. And you can take it and kind of squeeze and bunch in. You're going to make sure there's no weird pressure spots. There we go. A beautiful little wire tree. Hey guys, congratulations on making a wire tree. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas, please leave them down below. And I started talking about Patreon there a little bit at the end. For just $1 a month, you put your name in the hat to win a one-of-a-kind hand-sculpted fairy house. And I do the drawing now twice a month. So there's no telling who might win what and what might happen if we get like even more patrons and stuff. So it's like, it's a good thing. All the proceeds from that go towards spreading artisan education all over in our travels and different things like the conventions that I teach at. I provide all the tools and materials free of charge, and so your $1 a month really does help out. So thank you guys again for watching and for all of your continued support and encouragement and inspiration. So I hope you all have a fantastic day. I love all of you, and happy crafting. Bye.